Here I wanted to introduce a Canadian poet. His name is D.C. Reid. D.C. Reid is a writer and poet whose work lives in multiple disciplines. Verb-based video poems for his book, You Shall Have No Other. Environmental writing, for which he has won multiple awards, including the National Roderick H. Brown Award, and novels. His poetry has won silver in the Bliss Carman Award twice, among 25 other awards, including the Colin Thibodeau Award for significant support of Canadian poetry. He is a former president of the League of Canadian Poets and the Federation of BC Writers. His memoir, A Man and His River, won the gold medal in the Professional Outdoor Media Association of Canada's book contest. What we do not know is his 18th book, with Chinese translations by me, Anna Yin, published in 2024. Today, he will read 5 poems from it. These poems show the complexity of human history, science, and nature through chains of images, thoughts, metaphors, and wordplay. Reid's narrative style is not simply linear, but overlapping time, space, and imagination, breaking into our consciousness as we read his work. So let's welcome DC to read his poems.
Okay. All right. Yes, this book, What We Do Not Know, Anna translated into Chinese and took to China when she went on her last trip there. And the first one is called Then the Further Day. It starts off with 2 quotes, one of which is taken from a song by Jennifer Warren and Leonard Cohen. And the quote is, "She saw the Queen of Heaven once and kept a vision in her soul. No one believed what she had seen. No one believed what she heard." Now that comes from Song of Bernadette. And you can find it easily on the web to listen to if you want to. Now the second quote is a wise one from Jan Zawicki. It is, "Myth is history we need." That's nicely put. Okay, so, as if the white wasps in their paper casings were symbols of wisdom, and so a promise I could trust. As if the rain falling fitfully on the house-rounded shore were a selflessness, and giving in to destiny were admirable, complete. As if the land was not to be heard at night, pouring water, winter through itself to Gonzales Bay. Mornings of white light, my paler self walks the water untethered. And even before me, Spanish captains with black between their teeth, squiring names. San Juan, Esperanza, Escalante. They could not escape through the residue of memory. But in its time, when it is ready, the ocean turns and sings the calcium from bone until it is no more. Come on, let me hold you. Won't you let me hold you like Bernadette would do? Hey, the next one is called Sepia Our High Faces. The asylum long drifted from humans who left before they got there. The small talk of mold, quiet fingernail, the non-talking that is a lantern. We've been here before. This is when the powder comes, when it searches for veins by flake and degree. The potted cyclamen throws back its arms in rapture, or maybe love so burdens the petals they move through pain forever. The sash on her dress, the blue one, grass around her calves. Would you like this and this and this? Brown shoes stubby and electrician wire laces. A highlight from a forehead in old again photos. Black corners giving way when the book of our high faces is closed, breaking always with closed eyes. Okay, moving on to Mule Deer.
Okay.
And which is page 52.
52, yeah.
I'm not sure what it's like in Ontario, but in Victoria, there are almost more deer than there are people. They've moved in from the country and set up shop here, and you have to close all your gates all the time, or they get into your garden bed and eat things. they've eaten some of my carrots, for instance, and I want those carrots, so I'm not keen in them doing that. But as I said, there are so many deer around here that, sometimes you can't avoid it. Okay, this is called mule deer. 2 deer and maybe more resting in the rain at the yard. They have left the wild for people and rain that craters the urban faith. At their edges, the small work of us goes on. Rain is a cleansing, as it is meant to be, and the voluminous apples spill harmlessly to a turf so servile it lets itself be halved by the small blades of man. Mouths that break the stalks don't leave anything at all. Small brown worlds are sown among the legs and flower fields. And this epistolary frame of nature is man's grappling cannot be held. The ponding grass, the deer, the rain that falls where souls need washing away. We are the non-corporeal turned to the unhuman. The deer and wildness come to save us. Water is time and the earth changes.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Which
mean,
is a nice lesson.
yeah, I always like your ending. Your ending always like bring out deep like a message there. So it's like just let me think again. Oh, why you write these poems? And from very beginning, it's more like something normal happening, right? Then
No.
yeah. So what's your writing process for that?
Well, I like writing in a way that's tangential, not that goes like narrative that goes from A to B to C doesn't interest me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you can get thoughts that go together, even though they formally don't connect, then you've covered way more space than you would if you went with a straight narrative. And so that's the reason I like writing in this way. And if you the way to look at these things is if you take one and read it and ask yourself, when does it change its meaning? And it's almost every line or every second line. And I do that, as I said, because it means I can get more subject matter in a poem than written in a narrative way. It's also more difficult. So I'm happier when I get it right. So
Good.
now, um, I'm going to read the most, after all that, I'm going to read the most narrative poem in the book, which is the next one. Now, I wanted to write something about Canada because Canada's the second biggest country in the world. And so it's a very big subject. And I wanted to write from Newfoundland all the way to Victoria so that it covered the entire country and
Mhm.
also takes in history from the last 100 years. But this is called Canada, and I have a couple of comments at the end. Okay, Canada. We are the land, and so we come to each other from far away. The eastern slope has maple leaves, the crash of wave on newfound land. Oh, maze me, what does speaking in foreign tongues mean? Pretending to be a people in the largest country never fought in and for itself. Never a pogrom nor a gulag. But the reservation comprises death untraceable, those found here by the harpers of the nation, the Bordens, the Mulrooneys, the chief with his jowly nation of Saskatoon, that sweet prairie fruit that stained my hands when they're picking on the cliff where falcons stooped to knock me off. The falcons called me twice each time they spoke, echo booming a place of rumpled green. I fancied only I could hear their calling, and Mount Alberta mountains with flakes round their feet, the Yamnuskas, Kananaskis. I hear the names Sarcee, Anoka, the Trudeaus, and Stanfield, bagpipes, their instrument of colonialism, and France, where our grandparents died of the opening up of mustard gas. We know of it in our unplacid lands how to make the water pure. Oh, my distant friends, we have no other words than what our mouths form on tongues. Those with teeth say Sartlet, Mushelet, Tawasin. Lakes are our only precious thing, the open eyes of our country, like Winnipeg, that flatness with curling wave in the middle of us, the Ukrainian, the Mennonite, people with olden clothes, olden carts, on way to olden towns, anywhere on our CP grid flatness, then Banff Springs, Hell's Gate, Fraser, Thompson, our flesh that drains itself of tears to a western shore, where trails between cedars last long enough to see the tops of green millennia. It is the drum we know, the way we cannot keep our feet within our shoes. Not Huckleberry, not Tom, nor Brodigan, but Canadian. I sing the land, relentless. We search for the native drum that is this Canada. We start so far away, you cannot hear us coming. Now, I have a couple of notes for that. One, the reason that the Prairie Falcons called me twice is because their call has two sounds to it, and it's simply Cree Cree. And I used to lie on the cliff over Fish Creek, and they would come zooming out of the clouds or out of the sky and come down and go Cree Cree, and then zoom off somewhere else, and then another one would come down and go Cree Cree. So I got very used to the falcons doing that to me as I lay on the green grass. Now, the other quote thing is I sing the land relentless. Yes, it is an intentional takeoff on Walt Whitman's line. I sing the body electric. But Canada is relentless, and that's why I chose that. So,
It's a Cree Cree, right? The echo. Also, I thought about because the indigenous has a tribe called Cree, right? But it's a C-R-E-E, Cree, right?
Cree is C-R-E-E.
Yeah, C-R-E-E, yeah. So I saw
It's a
that
Prairie First Nation.
yeah. I saw that maybe you also reflect something from there as well. So
But that's good. I'll take that. Yes, I intended that.
okay. Anyway, and okay, and also I know your poem. This poem you won award, right?
Drummond
Yeah, yeah.
Award. Now, the poem I'm about to read, I also won an award from the Drummond Award, but I won the gold medal for this next poem that I'm reading.
Oh, okay,
And it was just this year too. So
okay. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Mhm.
the last poem I'm going to read is about a painting by Vermeer. It's called The Girl with the Pearl Earring. And this is one that
Yeah, very good. Yeah, nice. Yeah, wait.
so
Mhm.
everybody probably knows this image, and I decided to write about it. And and so I did. Oh, this is the poem that won the gold medal.
Uh,
Canada won a bronze medal.
oh,
This
okay.
this won a gold medal this year. Okay, now it's called Nunc Dimittis, which means in the Bible, taking your leave or being asked to take your leave. Now, I decided to write this because Patrick Lane has a poem which is called Nunc Dimittis. And what I did do, is that my poem isn't like his, but what it is it follows the same structure. Other than that, you wouldn't catch the relationship. But anyway,
Okay.
so this is called Nunc Dimittis, and the short quote from the Patrick Lane poem is, "It is morning, and I'm kneeling in the garden," which has almost religious overtones to it,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And then so the poem is this: as if Forsythia were a yellow pathway, wandering air to the face of the girl in Vermeer's painting, asking why her fine-skinned cheek is afraid. As if the last river gorge of Atlantis were a silver ring of silent blue water. As if Picasso's African women of Avignon could turn to horses and their snorts leave the Austrian Wittgenstein, the German Heidegger, the Husserl in their endless coming to now. Am I genuflecting in the garden? I don't know, but three griefs I cannot understand. The small Teresa, fingers spread to and away from awakening, a mythical god's insistence on joy. The splinter of rose emerging from my face. Ours is a cold country, and espaliered fruit in southern sun makes it no less cold on the most august day. Can the windmill undo its spiraling? I would like to know. As if green tomatoes come after cold before the girl's cheek, one who walks green water, or beauty skin that peels like pages of a white book. Would you, if you could, tell the girl how it will be? That her painter is the residence of her questions, the dry river gorges of Osoyos, of Carameos. I return to the garden and my feet touch not the ground. Green tomatoes rise into my hands, the girl's windmill. Hydra blue against blue of windsock, full cheek, a neck of land. Can a pearl be afraid? Her windmill turns to me and asks whether it may now take its leave.
And why you think it won award?
Well, from my perspective, I just think it's a really great poem. It's the one I like most in this book.
Mm-hmm.
And
So we ended this poem for the book. This
yeah,
is the ending poem, right, for the book. Okay.
yeah. And so, like as I said, it's the one that I like the most in the book. And as I said, I like doing the tangential thing, where you go from one line to another without the direct line of narrative. That way you can end up saying a whole lot more in a lot less space. And as you say, the lines sort of intersect one another or
Yeah.
cross one another, particularly on the page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second page of it,
Yeah.
but it's a little blurry. But as I said, it's based on the painting by Vermeer of the girl with the pearl, right?
Great. Thank you, DC Reid. Thank you for your wonderful reading. And this is for today, and we hope to see you again.